Hello everyone and welcome to I believe this is game 6 now in a series, Clash Imagine versus Ella Marine here on Dual Site. Imagine spawning as the blue Protoss player over here at what I'll call the 8 o'clock position, meanwhile Marine spawning as the red Zerg. Interesting name choice there. Marine spawning as the red Zerg over here at the 2 o'clock position. So this is going to be Dual Site, and this map does normally favor Zerg. It's very easy to establish up this natural expansion here, and then moving on, you can go ahead and try to take this 12 o'clock location here. And after you take that 12 o'clock location, you can easily run on 3 bases, or you can try to do a little bit of a 2-base timing push using your natural expansion as a macro hatch as opposed to trying to mine from there anytime soon. It looks like Imagine will be establishing up a front door. Most likely a forge or a gateway will go down here, followed by a gateway, and then finally using that nexus as part of that wall-in. We're going to see a probe now make his way up the ramp as Imagine going to quickly scout out Marine and try and figure out what the long-term strategy will be. Now, Zerg versus Protoss has been one of those matchups where for a while Protoss players were pretty much getting away with doing a forge fast expansion. Now that does not seem to be the case any longer, as you now see Imagine apparently liking to draw stars on the map, and there you see the probe just wandering around back and forth here. The probe now making his way back up the ramp. He will quickly spot that there is a spawning pool now down, and with that spawning pool he knows that a drone cannot grow up to be a hatchery just quite yet. He has a little bit of time, but now needs to make his way back over here if he wants to in fact try and stop this hatchery. It doesn't look like he'll be able to do it in time. Is the hatchery? Yes, the hatchery does go down, and if that probe was just a second earlier, he would have been able to disrupt it and perhaps even delay the spawning pool further. You see a nexus now established on the front door. There is a forge as well. We'll see if a gateway will be placed down here in addition to a photon cannon simply waiting for that there. You can see that there is pretty much no room to maneuver in between these buildings. Zerglings will have a very difficult time trying to get in, as we now see the probe just continuing to zap away at the hatchery. So far, Imagine has still yet to establish any gas at his at his main base or natural expansion. There is one probe down here. One photon cannon is being built. An interesting position on this photon cannon. I am curious as to whether or not units will be able to actually sneak around this backside. If they are unable to sneak around that backside, units may actually get stuck by Imagine, as Imagine perhaps is trying to get into a very, very long game. There is one probe here. The Zergling pylon is going to be warped in along the backside, and a new photon cannon here, but I believe this photon cannon will get unpowered in just a moment, and that is a really, really bad place to go. A new pylon now being warped in here as well. As this photon cannon falls, this one particular photon cannon may get focused down. No, the photon cannon was trying to get some damage off, unable to do so. Zerglings being very careful to position themselves just so that they do not take any damage there. The photon cannon looking like they want to focus down those units, as a zealot now making his way out. So double photon cannons on the front door. The probes will be able to mine away pretty easily now. And we'll see what will be happening as we also get a cybernetics core on the back door. No possible chance for a Zergling run by. Zerglings, however, could start damaging the top of the forge here, or rather roaches would be able to do exactly that, as the Zerglings now still trying to test. We can see that there was a third base already established by Marine. Marine knowing that he can establish that third base since his opponent did not go any early gateway pressure. And now a Zerg on 3 bases is always very dangerous. We'll see whether or not Imagine will be able to get enough units in order to put pressure onto this hatchery here. You can see Zerglings still backing off here. And right now, Imagine doesn't look like he wants to move out anytime soon. Harvester count 32 drones, 33 probes, still fairly even. One zealot making his way into the 12 o'clock expansion, shooing away some drones as the drones are now simply all in retreat. The drones now perhaps going to try to go in for a surround. The zealot trying to get some easy damage there, unable to do so, as the zealot doing a little bit of hit and run tactics to stay alive and get damage onto some zerglings. The zealot's still alive so far, and it looks like the zealot will be able to finish off all 4 zerglings, something that normally does not happen, but very nice micro by Imagine keeping up his units. Now, Gateway for some reason is being chrono boosted, but nothing really being trained out of there. Meanwhile, Warp Gate tech about a quarter or a third of the way done now. New buildings being placed down once more. Photon cannons all along here on the front door. Level 1 weapons upgrade will be completed momentarily, as I believe a zealot was taken out finally. Marine able to clean up that zealot, and now looking around the map for perhaps another proxy pylon that may have been placed down. Imagine is getting additional gateways inside his base. It looks as though there's also one gateway here, and I believe a Stargate is placed in an awkward position off here, using that low ground pylon to power that high ground building. The Stargate now training up Phoenixes to most likely try and deal with Mutalisk. Most likely we'll see Marine then transition into Hydralisk, and as long as Imagine can then transition into Colossi, he should be in a good position. Zergling's about to test that front door, still no metabolic boost, as the sentries are now looking to take down that back door set of pylons. You can see down over here there is a pylon here. Zerglings will not be able to squeeze by, and also there you go, Zerglings now trying to test that forge, but 2 quick sentries preventing any more damage whatsoever. Harvester count is now 58 to 46. The drones now working overtime, able to get up a lot more, a lot stronger for economy, and we still do not have a macro hatch as of yet. We are going into level 1 missile upgrades, Glio reconstitution, but just mass roaches. Those roaches are going to be very, very effective. Roaches now going to have a difficult time though against Phoenixes. Phoenixes are not effective against roaches, but unless you try to graviton beam, but even then the additional armor may be a bit of a problem. You can see now some damage being dealt to this Phoenix. This Phoenix taking a lot of damage there. One queen now down. A second queen going to get taken down as a Spore Crawler now coming into position. The Spore Crawler will be completed in just a second. There it goes. The Spore Crawler not able to get off any shots though, as the Phoenixes now look to perhaps clean up some of the Overlords. Meanwhile, on the map, you can see that there is a large Zergling and Roach army making a move. These Phoenixes are just doing pretty much superficial damage, and these Roaches will actually be able to run inside this mineral line and deal even more. Imagine now currently supply blocked at 84 over 84. One Photon Cannon not enough against a swarm of Roaches that are now swarming in. Probes now trying to make their way over. That one particular Photon Cannon will fall. Zealots and Sentries trying to engage, and this Roach timing, these 14 Roaches actually absolutely going to destroy all of these Zealots, and all Imagine really has our Phoenixes. The Phoenixes are not going to be that effective. Perhaps Void Rays would have been a better choice, as the Phoenixes now try to Graviton Beam in order to win the war slowly, one Roach at a time. Roaches are falling, but not simply high enough in numbers, as the Roach now battling up against the Immortal. The Immortal now losing a lot of hit points as well, as the Roach is able to focus it down and get past the Hardened Shield. Marine just utilizing these Roaches very effectively. This 2-base timing, this 3-base timing with Roaches, very, very effective, as the Roaches will most likely now get cleaned up, but the economic damage has already been done. Not very many workers left. You can take a look. 3 probes, 54 workers killed versus 0. And whenever you have 54 workers killed versus 0, that is always pretty much instantaneous GG. Up to 55 now, and I cannot imagine getting back into this game. Zerglings still swarming in. Roaches getting picked up slowly but surely. Imagine trying to stay in this game as long as he can, staying on the stage, but he will simply fall. The Zealots not enough, especially against these upgraded 1-0 Roaches, as units getting taken down slowly but surely. And there is the GG. So Imagine losing the game after taking a quick game from Soccer in a Protoss versus Protoss mirror match, and we'll see who Marine will be going up against next.